So this solution isn't completely perfect, and I'd like to now suggest a better solution that is really going to remove the escaping reference once and for all. And that is that we're going to return a new collection, but it's going to be an immutable collection, a collection which cannot be edited. Now, if you're using any version of Java before version 10, then the way to create an unmodifiable collection is to use the collections class. And I'll do that here. Actually, I'm using Java 8 in this particular example, and this will also work in Java 10 and above. It's just that there is another syntax you can use if you're using Java 10 and above, which I'll show you in just a moment. But if you're using any version of Java, what we could do here is say, rather than returning a new hash map, we want to return an unmodifiable map, and we get that from the collections class. So I'm going to call collections dot, and what we'll see in here, if I start typing in unmodifiable, there's an unmodifiable list, an unmodifiable map, an unmodifiable set, and so on. If we choose map, all we need to do is pass into the constructor an existing regular or modifiable map. So let's put in here records, and now that will have returned for us our unmodifiable map. Just to show you the Java 10 plus syntax, and actually I think what I'll do is change this project to use Java 11 so that I can show you that. I've just switched this to a Java 11 project. I did that off camera, and as you can see, this collections.unmodifiable map is absolutely still compiling. But the alternative way, the Java 10 plus way of doing this, is to return, and rather than calling collections, we call either list or map or set. So in this instance, it's going to be map. And this has, as you can see, a method called copy of, and we pass into that the map that we want to copy. So in this instance, that will be records. And I'll just comment out the Java 9 and below version. So these two lines of code are pretty much equivalent. There is a slight difference, and it's a slight performance or potential performance improvement if you use the Java 10 plus version. And that performance improvement is, well, remember what we're doing is we are effectively still creating a copy of an existing collection. So we're creating a new object on the heap with all the references copied across, but this time our new object will be a different object type. So if we had a list down here, it would be an unmodifiable list this time. If we have a map, it will be an unmodifiable map now. The difference is that if we use the Java 10 plus syntax, if our original collection was already an unmodifiable, then it will just return that collection. It won't actually create the new version. So there is a very slight performance improvement of using this version. If records had been declared as an unmodifiable map, returning this copy of would just return the underlying instance. Using the Java 8 version, then actually this will always create a copy. So it doesn't matter really which you use. I guess if you've got Java 10 or above, then it makes sense to use this version because there is the potential of a slight performance improvement. But now let's see what that has done. So I'm going to make sure this is all saved, go back to the main class, and we'll just comment out the call.clear and just check that this is still working, that we are getting back our two customers when we want to iterate through them, and we are. Now what happens if we try and call .clear is we get an exception, and it's unsupported operation exception because we're using an immutable collection type. So we absolutely now have fixed the problem. It's no longer possible to accidentally modify our customers by calling the .getCustomers method. So the general advice to avoid an escaping reference is to always provide, if you're working with a collection, an unmodifiable copy of the collection that you are working with. If you do this, as we've seen, there's going to be some performance impact, but it will be very small.